Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. So today I've got a couple of things that I wanted to follow up on. So last week I posted some things that I had purchased from Surratt. So I'm going to do a quick eye look with the 4 new shadows that I purchased. And I keep those this is an Audette Cosmetics palette. And when you open this up, so I have, sit back a little. So I have some Surratt stuff on this side. So I've got some blushes and some eyeshadows. And then on this side, I have some other shadows. So I actually just placed my first Sydney Grace order and got these. I haven't tried them at all yet, but I'll be doing something on these coming up. So you can see I got a ton. They're not very expensive, so it's really easy to kind of build a big cart. But anyway, so the Surratt ones that I just got are these 4 here. And this is a magnetic palette. The Surratt shadows are not magnetic, but I purchased these little magnets from Amazon to put on there. And yeah, so I'll be taking these out to use these for the look. And then the other thing I want to do is compare a couple of the face brushes. So I bought the Surratt. This is the face brush, the Artistique face brush, and it is gray squirrel hair. But I also purchased the Beautylish and Chuchoter collab brush for the Lunar New Year. You can see this is absolutely gorgeous. Look at this little mouse. But anyway, this is blue squirrel. And then I have the Silver Fox hairbrush from Chuchoter. This is the F01. So we'll be comparing these, and yeah, so that's everything for this video. So stay tuned, we'll get started with the eye look. Okay, so for today's eye look, we are going to be starting off with the shade Ombre. And this is a matte shade from Surratt, and it's like a light brown. So I'm going to use the Soigne Classic Crease, and I'm just going to tap it in a little bit and start off in the crease area. A little bit more. Okay, so this is the shade Ombre, and just for a quick hand swatch, so you can see here it is on my finger and here it is on my hand. Next, I'll be going into a similar shade. This is the shade Vison. So here's the name. And this is going to be a shimmer shade. So here it is on my finger. And next to Ombre, you can see that they are very similar in color, but this one's shimmery. I'm going to be putting this on the inner portion of my eye. This is the Soigne Soft Shader. So I'm using something flat, and I'm just going to put that on basically the first half of my mobile lid. Okay, so I'm going to just wipe off any excess on my microfiber cloth. I'm going to actually flip it over and use the other side. And I'm going to use this shade Chocolat Noir. Okay, and this is going to be a deep brown. And I'm going to just add a little bit to the outer portion of my eye. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go back with the classic crease, and I'm not adding any additional shadow, but I am just going to kind of blend the crease area a little bit. Okay, so my fourth shade is called Creme de la Creme. And this is just going to be a white. It's a satin shade, so it's not super shimmery, but it's not a flat matte either. So I'm going to go in with the Soigne Pencil Pro. I'm going to dab a little bit. I'm just getting a tiny bit on the tip. I'm going to dab some on the inner corner. Just a little bit in the brow bone, right in the arch. I'm going to add just a little bit more of the inner corner. Okay, so I am wiping the excess off of the soft shader that I used before. And I am going to go back in with the side that I used for Vison. And I'm just gonna add a little bit more to the inner portion. Just wanna kind of get a little bit more sparkle there and blend that with the Chocolat Noir a little bit more. All right, and just one more quick cleanup with the crease brush. Okay, so this is the actual shadow look, and I'll be right back. I'm going to add some eyeliner and mascara. Okay, so this is the final eyeshadow look, and I used my favorite eyeliner, which is the Chantecaille. This is the Luster Glide Silk Infused Eyeliner in Olive Brocade, and it's kind of like a green, a little bit of a yellow green, but it's more green than yellow green, but it has gold in it. So the gold is really what kind of makes it a little bit more olivey. It's not even sure if you can see quite as much of the gold as is evident in real life, but I put this on the upper and lower lashes, and then I used the pencil brush I was using and smudged over it a little bit with the Chocolat Noir. So that is everything for the eyes. So you can see here were the eye swatches. Again, this was Ombre, Vison, Chocolat Noir, and Creme de la Creme. And you can see that the Vison, which I put on the inner portion, it's got like a hint of a rosiness to it that, you know, makes it a little bit different. So I think on my hand, when I swatch it, it really looks really more taupey brown. But on my eyes, I feel like I see a little bit of a rosy pink undertone to it. So that makes it a little bit more unique. And all right, so real quickly, everything else that I have on my face, I am using the Guerlain L'Essentiel foundation in 00N. I have the Sisley Stylo Lumiere in 1. I'm using the Givenchy Gardens Prisme blush in Spice. Again, Spice is a permanent color. It's only the case, it's limited edition. And then on my lips, I am using the Mel Thompson Christian Audette collaboration. I have the Kitten liner on with the Beauty lipstick, but I kind of blotted that, so it's just like a little bit on there. And I'm using the Surratt lip bluster in Soigne. So that is what I currently have on. Oh, for mascara, Chanel Inimitable, and I'm using the Wander Beauty Brow Pencil and Gel in Taupe. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna get started with testing the powders. So I was trying to figure out which powder would be best to use to really get kind of like a clear look. I was thinking about using the Chantecaille, the Perfect Blur, and I think that's what we're gonna do because I feel like the blur effect is really evident using this. So we're gonna start off with the Surratt Artistique face brush, and just a quick comparison of all three of these brushes. So they are all incredibly, incredibly soft. So according to my research, technically the Blue Squirrel, which would be this one here from Beautylish, this one should be the softest. The Silver Fox and the Surratt Gray Fox, these should be pretty similar in softness. So to be honest, I feel like they all feel very, very similarly soft. They are all very, very decadently soft. So size comparison, you can see that the Silver Fox is going to be the shortest. Let's see here, let's put them all on my finger. And you can see that the Beautylish and the Surratt are basically, they have the same handle size. But the big difference is that the Surratt one feels a little bit stiffer. Like it feels like it's a little bit denser. The hairs aren't quite as floppy. And when I use the Beautylish Chuchoter brush, this one, it's definitely a looser application. So I feel like the Silver Fox is also a looser application than the Surratt. So I feel like the Surratt is a little bit better at kind of depositing color or product and kind of like buffing it in. Whereas if you're looking for a lighter, looser application, both of these work really well for that. Now this Beautylish Lunar New Year brush, every year Beautylish and Chuchoter do a collaboration. And this year on the website, it actually, you know, I guess when I got the original email, it said it was a Chuchoter collaboration, and then the website didn't mention it, just said it was the Beautylish Lunar New Year brush. I did contact them and they told me it is Chuchoter. It is all gone for the year. They're not getting any more. They actually sold out really quickly. I think last year it was still, the Lunar New Year brush was still around until like March, maybe even April. But this year it sold out like in the first couple days. So unfortunately, this one is not available, but they do make one of these brushes every year. And I don't have a Chuchoter Z series brush, but I have heard this is similar to, I think it's the Z5 possibly, but I'm not positive on that since I have no personal experience with that one. This is not available. So we're going to be testing these two on the side of my face, but I did want to bring this one in for comparison just so you kind of are familiar with this as well. So it is a little bit of a looser application than the Surratt, but I think it's kind of like middle ground between these two. So this one is definitely going to be the loosest of them all because these bristles are a bit floppier. And yeah, so this is kind of like middle ground. If it comes back next year, they'll do a different design next year. But, you know, if it's something you're interested in, you know, I believe it's the same basic brush in general. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to use the Hummingbird Perfect Blur. I'm going to start off with the Surratt Artistique face brush on the right side of my face. So I'm just going to swirl some product on So let's get a little bit more and make sure it's really evident. All right, so I've got product on my brush. I'm gonna stamp it on first. I just really wanna make sure I get plenty of product. Okay, and we're gonna swirl that in. And I did not set anything on my face, so there's no other powder on my face today. So going on, it feels like a dream. This brush is so soft and amazing. Now using the Fox brush, when you are swirling this, you know, honestly, it feels great. There's definitely a structure to it. It's not like super like loose and floppy or anything like that, but I do feel like it is going to be looser than the Surratt brush. It's just not as densely packed. Let's add a little bit more there. So considering that the Silver Fox brush does have like looser bristles, and you can see this one does shed a little bit. Like I've lost maybe 10 hairs or so now. It's not like I lose some every time or anything. And actually I haven't lost any washing except for my initial wash. I lost a couple, but I'm not sure which brush those came from, but just so you know. Anyway, what I was saying was, I think this brush, even though it feels like looser and everything going on, it really does pick up product well. So the actual hairs grip onto the product well. So, you know, it's not an issue with it being such a soft brush that the, you know, actual product materials aren't sticking to it. It just feels really soft and loose going on. So I think when you look at the actual application, I think they're pretty similar, but I think with the blurring powder, you really kind of want to buff those into your skin a little bit more to get more of that blurring effect. And I definitely think the Surratt side did a better job buffing. And again, I think that is mostly due to the density of these bristles compared to the Fox. We're gonna test these again using the Guerlain Meteorites as kind of like a finishing powder. So we'll just put that on top and just kind of see if that makes a difference as well. So, and I think we'll use the holiday ones. This is the Golden Land. And we'll use these just because they're a little bit more evident on my skin. And, you know, I just wanted to kind of compare something that's a little bit looser. Okay, so again, we'll stick with the right side of my face as the Surratt. And these do add like a rosy tint to my skin, so you can kind of see the product going on a little bit better, I think. Okay, so you can definitely see that this side, you know, has more pigment and color to it than this side does right now. So we'll compare that with the Fox. And you can see how well the pigment is actually picked up on the brush. So all right. I've been using these two brushes for a while now, and I've been using the Beautylish one since I got this last week. And I think overall, what my personal opinion is on using these is I do prefer to use the Surratt with anything that's pressed. I feel like it does a better job of, you know, buffing things in. So pressed powders, I feel like that's kind of what I'm looking for more. And even like a blurring powder or whatever, but loose powders, I really like using the Fox. So that's how I've kind of been using these, but I wanted to make sure you guys got got a chance to kind of see the difference. And I do feel like definitely the Surratt did a better job with the blur effect, or the perfect blur powder from Chantecaille. And I feel like they both did a great job with the Meteorites. I did get more pigment with the Silver Fox brush, but I think they both laid it down well and blended well. So that is basically my opinion on these. Do you need to have both of these? No. If you only have one, they both work well. I do think that this one just doesn't, like, you have to, there's a little bit more work to get up a pressed powder with this one than it is with this, purely because of the density of it. But application wise and everything, they're both great. So you can't really complain about either one. But I do think that a brush that is, you know, a little bit looser like this does work better with looser powders and applications. So that's my opinion. I think the Beautylish one, this one is really more middle ground. It works well with both things, but I have preferred the Surratt for pressed powders even over this one as well. So, you know, it's kind of like, this is kind of like the jack of all trades. It does everything, it does it all well, but still not as well as something that's going to be a little bit more specialized. I feel like this one is just a little bit better at anything pressed. And, you know, it works great on loose things as well. I do think, though, if you're looking for like a really light, ethereal application, you want something a little bit less dense than this, you know, just depending what you're searching for. So that is my opinions on these. And again, here's just a close-up of the powder applications. And that's basically everything. Okay, so that sums everything up today. I hope that these differences were apparent on the camera and it was helpful. So please let me know if there's anything else I can clear up. As for the eye look, I tried to do it a little bit closer up today. I think I might be able to get a little bit closer than that, but please let me know if that was more helpful. And if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions on anything, please leave them down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day.